Just a few concluding words on that Philippians passage, the one where Paul says, I'm sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Christ Jesus. A word of exhortation here, and this comes from Psalm 73. In Psalm 73, Asaph was a priest, a Levite, one who led God's people in the worship of God, and he was pretty depressed. He was blue. He looked around. He saw, the other nations prospering, people who didn't fear you, prospering pretty well, having no troubles, no pains, no afflictions, and he became a little blue and downcast. And it wasn't until he gathered with God's people that he understood, their end. A lot of people have it well in this life without God. A lot of people have it terribly without God, and vice versa. And Asaph says some very beautiful things about not God beginning the work or completing the work necessarily in these verses, but about how he was toward God. And this is beautiful because God never left him. Listen to what he says. When my soul was embittered, when I was pricked in heart, I was brutish and arrogant. I was like a beast towards you. Nevertheless, I am continually with you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, and afterward you will receive me into glory. He acknowledges that he was brutish and ignorant and like a beast, like a wild animal toward God. You can picture him bucking and wanting to go his own way. And the natural tendency for us to think is that God would say, well, enough of you. I'm done with you. That's what we do when people are brutish and arrogant and like wild beasts. With us, we can write them off, unfortunately, more often than not. And yet God doesn't do that. He said, nevertheless, I'm continually with you. You hold my right hand. God holds us through those seasons of brutishness and ignorance, and when our souls are bitter. And then it said, you will guide me with your counsel, and afterward you will receive me into glory. And it's God's mercy that he will forever guide us with his counsel. His word is so beautiful. It's very clear. It's life-giving, and we need it in this life. We would stay forever brutish and ignorant and embittered toward the world, toward God, if it were not for his word, or at least toward one of those three things, if not all of them, if it were not for his grace. And afterward, you will receive me to glory. You see his hope there. And it's a fitting psalm, Psalm 73, verses 23 and following. It gets even better, but we'll consider that some other time. Be blessed.